Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice, Simple Steps for Showing Up. My name is Brad Draper. I am your host. I am grateful to be with you. I somewhat have a doozy for you today. I'm going to make your head turn. I'm going to make your head spin, and I kind of like doing that. I like thinking about really, really deep topics that sometimes have purpose and meaning. Sometimes it's just to challenge the brain. That's it. Today, it's a little bit of both. My microphone is like spinning around on me, not behaving. Whatever. Close enough. Good enough for government work. At the end of the day, the purpose of the microphone is for you to hear me. I can see that that's working. Therefore, we're ready to rock. I was on my mountain bike. It's funny how often during riding season, these podcasts start with, I'm on my bike. But I'm on my mountain bike. And in this particular instance, I forgot my headphones. Have you ever been to the gym and your headphones died, or you forgot them completely because you were spacing out, or what have you? Those workouts are significantly different. There's a little more intention. There is a little bit, sometimes more slacking, sometimes less slacking. But each set is not as driven and motivated by a beat. Or in my case, listening to podcasts and books. So often when I work out, that's my podcast and book time. I've got 90 minutes. I listen to podcasts at 2x speed and books at 3x speed. And I can crush a ton of information in that time frame. And because I'm actively moving, my brain is super active. On this time mountain biking, I forgot my headphones. Dang. Middle of the mountains, pitch black because I start riding at like 5:45 in the morning before anybody else is on the trail. It's super peaceful. And all I can see is where my headlights show. I actually have two headlights, one aimed down and one aimed up. So I kind of got like brights on a car going on. Sweet. But this time when I was riding, I played some music on my phone and just put it in my back pocket on my jersey because I mountain bike in a road kit. I'm one of those people. It's fantastic and glorious. And I'm cruising through the mountain, working my guts out and pondering about life, about things, about work, about relationships, about what I need to do to move my needle forward. Remember this whole, your thoughts precede your actions and your actions precede your opportunities. I think a lot. I actually have designated time in the day to simply think because that precedes action. I don't just sit there and take mindless action. It is so common for people to feel like they need to be physically doing something that they feel like they're wasting time if they are not physically doing something. But sometimes the physically doing something is negating the ability to think, and you're just spinning your wheels. This concept of being busy is aggravating. I don't like being busy. I like being efficient. I want you to think about how often you say that you have been busy. It's been a busy day. You enjoy being busy. You reward or pride yourself in how busy you actually are. Think about that in your life. Are you busy or are you efficient? When I was an executive, I had a thinking chair. I had a recliner in my office that was exclusively used for thinking. I've got a couch in my basement. I think in my couch. My office chair, if I recline it back, that is used for thinking. It's not reclined back any other time. I create spaces, so when I put myself physically in that space, my brain knows what to do. This is thinking time. Sometimes my brain wanders, and you got to kind of gently nudge it back. Sometimes I'm very on it. Another time is when I get up in the morning and I meditate in the form of prayer. It's a lot of thinking for 16 minutes. I've got the timer set for 16 minutes on my red light, and I do that in front of red light. I spend probably an hour or two a day simply thinking. And that's it. So I'm on my bike ride and I'm thinking. And I'm thinking about this concept of of consistency and compounding consistency and moving things forward by small and simple means. Very few times in life does something happen by one gigantic instance, a catalyzing moment. Most of the time, it is caused by many, 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 many. You get what I'm saying? Many, 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 many moments. You catch my drift now? Many moments of preparation, stacking together, consistent action, day in, day out. Whether you want to or not doesn't matter. This is where discipline comes into place. You get your workout done in, you get your reading done in, you get your journaling done in, you get your scripture study in, you get your family time in, whatever it is. There's no such thing as balance, by the way. The weight of each one by way of volume differs. But I can have a small, impactful moment with my kids compared to a large amount of time sitting on my phone in the same room with them. See what I'm saying? So often, people sit in the room with their kids. I'm guilty of this too. So I'm not pointing fingers other than at myself. Be in a room with my kids, spending time with my kids on my phone. I'm actually with my kids. I'm on my phone in the room with my kids. I'm not actually with them. Or you can spend 5, 10, 15 minutes playing a game with them, playing a board game with them, playing with Play-Doh, playing with something. Keep in mind, I got a 3 and 6-year-old. Playing things with my kids. That is grossly different than sitting down and watching their favorite TV show with them. That is still spending time with them, doing something they want to do. But there is not as much engagement. Very little, actually. You're just next to each other, viewing the same thing. So you got these levels, right? You got being with them in the same room, but you're not actually with them. You have being in the same room, watching a TV show, watching a movie. You're spending time together, but you're not engaging. And then you've got actual focused engagement. When I go out to the backfield with my sons and they play with the RC cars, they're 50 to 100 yards away from me, and I'm watching them. That is more engagement than physical conversation or games, especially if I'm watching them and coaching them from a distance or just watching them smiling and engaging with them visually and physically, not verbally. There's different levels to all this stuff. So I'm thinking about this consistency. And then I'm thinking about time. I keep on saying time. We use time analogous to so many things. We say it all the time, right? Time. Time is perfect. Have you ever thought about this? Time is perfect. It is consistent. It is unbiased. It keeps moving no matter what. Seconds don't stop. But here's the caveat. Humans made up time. We created time to understand our space here in mortality. If you're not on Earth, what is time? It is totally different. Even astronauts at the space station age at a different rate than when they're on Earth. Isn't that wild? Time is the Earth spinning and going around the sun. And we break that up from days, months, years, hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, nanoseconds, blah, 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 blah. Infinitesimally small and infinitely large. Light years and stuff. We're measuring our understanding of this finite mortality. But we made it up. You can separate yourself from time, and that's a whole new conversation and topic that is far too deep for this podcast series. But setting yourself away, getting into the ether or the meta, and disassociating yourself from time and physicality and mortality altogether. And now you start looking at things from a different lens. Time is perfect. It is a type or an exemplar of Christ. Perfection. And with each second, all things can come to pass. Right? Has this thought ever crossed your mind? Until this point in my life, on this bike ride, it had never crossed my mind that time is perfect, and with time, all things are possible. With consistency, all things are possible. With perfect consistency, all things are possible. And with imperfect consistency, things are possible over an extended duration of experiences. I'm going to use the word experiences over the word time, just so I don't confuse me or you. But when you really contemplate about time ticking forward and that perfect consistency, it is so analogous to everything that we utilize the concept of time all the time. Like I just said it, time, all the time, in time, with time. But replace the word time with consistency. Because if time is perfect consistency, then they're interchangeable. They're analogous. So, with perfect consistency, perfect action, moving forward, you can expedite things. And keep in mind, things take time. Baking a cake takes time. It is more iterations of consistent action to bake the cake. And in this case, consistent action is seconds. Perfect consistent action, seconds. It takes more of those to bake a cake. It takes what, 30 or 40 minutes? So 40, because, well, either one's easy math. 30 minutes times 60 seconds is 180, right? Messing that up? Yeah, 1,800 seconds. Not 180, 1,800 seconds. I got something on my microphone. That's gross. 1,800 seconds. That many iterations of seconds to bake a cake. Well, if you try and speed that up to 1,200 seconds, 20 minutes, you got to increase the temperature, but you're just going to burn your cake. It'll be dry, charred, or it won't be done. You go longer, turn your temperature down. You could slow bake it. It will change the consistency. The cake will not end up the way you thought it would. This idea of time, consistent action, perfection, all things are possible. It is a perfect typographical ideation. There's no other way for me to put it. That's how my brain interpreted it. You're welcome. I really want you to contemplate about this. I want you to contemplate about how well you utilize time, how well you utilize consistency to achieve those things that you want. Are you perfect like time? No. You're human. But you can grow closer and closer and closer and closer. It has been said that Steve Jobs utilized approximately 80% of his time towards things that mattered. He only allowed approximately 20% of noise in his world, which is why he moved so quickly. It is believed that Elon Musk is greater than 95% utilization of time towards goals. He only allows supposedly 5% or less noise in his world. Everything he does is for purpose, intentional. Kind of helps that he is on a savant level when it comes to focus of attention. It's amazing what you can do with micro consistent action. You don't need massive action to get to where you're trying to go. You need consistent action. And with that thought, I will leave you with that brain cluster. I have thought heavily on this, and the more I think about it, the more I confuse myself, and the deeper the rabbit hole goes. And how cool that is. How often do you think that deeply? Sometimes for no other purpose than to just simply train yourself to think, to ask and answer yourself questions. That is thinking, by the way. Thinking, not drifting. Thinking is asking and answering questions to yourself. It may not be in the form of a question, but that's what you're actually doing internally. You can do it externally. You can speak it out loud. It doesn't move as fast because your mouth and your ears don't move as fast as your thoughts. but it can keep you focused. Things to ponder on. You can find me on socials, Mr. Brad Draper. Share this episode. It is the only way it grows. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, I love you guys. Bye.